Chapter 1. I never planned to live in a tent. It was my attorney's idea. A way to cut costs, to save a little money, to keep a low profile during the legal proceedings. I'm not a criminal and never needed a lawyer before. I'm just a law-abiding citizen working for a living. John Everett Walker. That's my name. Everyone who knows me calls me Walker. People who don't know better sometimes call me Johnny Walker, like the whiskey. Not funny to me. It's either Walker or John. Walker is preferred. I'm not a tough guy. Usually don't need to be. At just shy of 6 feet and still lean from my days in Afghanistan, only a fool would pick a fight with me. Of course, there's no shortage of fools these days. Back in the mountains of Afghanistan, I carried a gun and looked for trouble. These days, I don't. For the past 7 years, I was in the corporate world working my way up the ladder at the Morocco Company, a Boston-based investment firm that makes obscene profits by buying U.S. manufacturing plants, laying off all the workers, and moving the plants south of the border. I worked at one of the plants they bought, the one in Conway, Arkansas, where they made hand tools, mostly wrenches and sockets sold at big box stores. My job at Morocco was as their computer systems manager, a fancy name for the person responsible for keeping the plant's computers up and running. It shouldn't have been a difficult job, except it was. There were too many people at the plant using their company's computers to surf the web, update their Facebook status, and search for porn. Lots and lots of porn. I didn't care what they looked at on company time. That wasn't part of my job. What I did care about were all the viruses and malware they were downloading. The kind of things that could spread from computer to computer and bring down the entire network. That's when they'd call me, day or night, when the computers went down. It was my job to get them back up and running. It wasn't my dream job, but at least it was a job. Something to be happy about in the sour state of the economy at the time. They gave me a small office in the front of the plant, nothing fancy, a cheap metal desk, several file cabinets, a laser printer, and 3 computers to monitor the networks. It could have been a lot worse. They could have put me in a stall out on the plant floor, near the giant hydraulic presses used to pound steel bars into hand tools. Not many hand tools are made in the U.S. these days. Most of the plants have moved offshore because making those shiny wrenches and socket sets is a noisy, dirty, and dangerous business. It starts with rolls of heavy steel bars that are run through stamping presses to turn out tool blanks. The blanks are sent to the furnaces to be heat-treated, followed by an acid soak, then to sand tumblers for polishing. They are then dipped into vats of toxic chromium oxide to make them shiny. If all goes well, the company ends up with a tool set they can sell at a big box store for $20. But things don't always go well. Get in the way of one of the carts hauling steel bars, stand too near a stamping press, forget your protective gear near the acid vats, and you'll be maimed or killed. I saw it happen more than once. It's never pretty. They told us office types to stay off the plant floor. It was too dangerous for a casual walkthrough, not the kind of place for someone wearing loafers and a tie to be around. The manufacturing risks involved, along with the toxic chemicals, were the excuse given for wanting to move these plants offshore. Management would say there were too many rules, regulations, and safety laws to operate in the U.S. Sometimes they were right. The plants were dangerous, but more often than not, the dangers could have been eased by spending more money on safety features. More about that later. Like I said, the plant I worked at was in Conway, Arkansas, a small college town bordered by the Arkansas River on the south and the Ozark Mountains to the north. Interstate 40, the 1,000-mile artery of non-stop traffic running from the Atlantic Ocean out to California, cuts through the middle of town, making Conway an easy place to get to. Or
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.